why did I have to make it? Is I was getting old. There's a moment where my shelf life, I couldn't make this movie that I really wanted to make.
Imagine sinking nearly $40 million, your own dollars, into a film because you believe no one else can capture the American frontier quite the way you see it. That is exactly where Kevin Costner stood when he launched Horizon, an American Saga. He refinanced a stretch of coastal ranchland, signed personal guarantees, and announced 4 feature-length chapters before a single ticket had been sold. It was bold, almost romantic, until late May, when a stunt performer named Devin Labella walked into Los Angeles Superior Court and insisted the production had crossed a line no movie should ever cross. Labella says a scene that was supposed to be a restrained scuffle became, without warning, a simulated sexual assault played out 4 agonizing times under the bright set lights. She describes trying to stay professional while feeling her skirt yanked skyward, an intimacy coordinator nowhere in sight, consent paperwork never signed. Her lawsuit stretches 39 pages and accuses the production of harassment, discrimination, and retaliation that, in her words, upended a career built one fall at a time. Costner's attorney, the famously combative Martin Singer, brushed it off the day the story broke. He called the filing a meritless shakedown and promised messages, proving everyone was comfortable on set. Yet the timing could hardly be worse. Horizon's first chapter earned applause at Cannes, but struggled at the box office, and the sequel's release date has quietly vanished from studio calendars. So tonight, let's follow the money, the lawsuit, and the ticking clock that may decide whether this grand western rides on or rides straight into bankruptcy.
It's a storyline which is interesting on the disagreements between the Native American tribes.
Last summer, Horizon Chapter 1 screened beneath the chandeliers of the Grand Théâtre Lumière. The ovation felt endless, and Costner looked every inch the triumphant auteur. But festival ovations do not pay investors, and when the film reached regular theaters, the numbers were sobering, just under 40 million worldwide against production costs already cresting 50. In private calls, exhibitors murmured that audiences loved the scenery, but hesitated over the 3-hour running time and the promise of still unfinished storylines. New Line, which had originally circled August 16, 2024 for Chapter 2, began to hesitate. Executives asked whether marketing budgets should be redirected until momentum returned. Costner, ever the optimist, pivoted to the festival circuit, Venice, then Santa Barbara, hoping critical word of mouth might revive interest. Between screenings, he quietly scouted New Mexico sound stages for Chapter 3, trying to keep hundreds of cast and crew on standby without burning through cash reserves. Then came the court filing. Hollywood financing is built on confidence. Confidence that insurance policies will hold, that stars will show up, that theaters will want the finished product. Allegations of a safety violation slash through that confidence like a knife. Completion bond insurers can suspend coverage if they think protocols were ignored, and without that bond, no distributor will touch a picture of this scale. Costner suddenly finds himself playing 4 tough roles at once: actor, director, financier, and now defendant. The clock is ticking not just on the lawsuit, but on loan interest accruing day by day against the ranch that once felt untouchable.
Hi, Kevin. It is such an honor to meet you. I wanted to ask first, just being in Utah, it has a 100-year history with Hollywood. What made you decide to film Horizon in Utah, and what have you seen as you've been filming here?
I just knew that I was going to film there. There's no place like it. I mean, this country is beautiful, but there's really, as a state stands, Utah really has almost anything you can ask for, and the raw beauty that's there, it just stuns people when they see it. And to set a dramatic story that we know happened a million times right there, it made the difference to me. I didn't want to shoot it any other place.
According to Devin Labella, May 2, 2023 began like any other shoot on the windswept flats outside Moab. The crew had rehearsed a wagon ambush the night before. Lantern blows out, outlaw crashes in, heroine struggles until help arrives. Everyone understood the beats, and the stunt team had plotted safe body placement for each fall. On the morning of filming, Labella says a revised call sheet arrived. The intimacy coordinator who handles contact scenes, she recalls, was suddenly not required. Another performer, not the actor she rehearsed with, was asked to play the assailant. Cameras rolled. Once. Twice. By the fourth take, she felt her blouse clutched, her skirt lifted, and the distinction between acting and violation blur. Crew members, she claims, watched in silence from Video Village monitors. She finished the scene, climbed out of the wagon, and cried behind a stand of scrub brush until a production assistant drove her back to base camp. Costner's team paints a different picture. They say LaBella texted the stunt coordinator later that week, thanking him for a wonderful run and sharing a smiling photo from set. Those messages, they argue, reveal consent, not distress. Singer promises additional rehearsal footage showing clear choreography and mutual agreement. But LaBella counters that professionals often mask discomfort to keep a job, and that any gratitude she expressed does not erase the absence of formal consent documents or the SAG-AFTRA rule requiring 48-hour notice when intimacy is involved. Somewhere between those two narratives sits the truth the court will weigh.
Kevin Costner is being sued by a stunt woman from one of his movies. The complaint was filed in Los Angeles County earlier this week. She is accusing Costner of sexual harassment, discrimination, and retaliation. The suit stems from the filming of a scene on a movie set.
LaBella's complaint reads less like a single grievance and more like a map of compounded harms. She describes a cascade, the shock of the unscripted scene, the tearful retreat home, the return to set where, she says, she was suddenly isolated. Then finally, the email informing her she was no longer needed on Chapter 3. In her view, that final email turned a frightening day into a career-altering punishment. California law allows plaintiffs to seek punitive damages when they believe a defendant acted with malice or reckless disregard. If a jury agrees that production leadership knew protocols were missing and pressed ahead anyway, financial penalties can soar. Costner's lawyers insist nothing of the sort happened. They say every stunt was storyboarded, every performer briefed, and they will produce written acknowledgments during discovery. Judge Amelia Hendricks has scheduled a brisk timeline. Both sides must exchange documents within 60 days. Depositions will follow through winter. Crucially, Hendricks granted LaBella's request to subpoena raw monitor footage, which may show exactly what the cameras captured between takes. If that footage supports her description, the defense may push for settlement long before trial. If it contradicts her, Costner's camp gains leverage to fight all the way to a verdict. Either outcome carries weight well beyond these two individuals. Hollywood's intimacy guidelines were strengthened after the Me Too wave. A judgment confirming those standards were ignored would ripple through every set, every bond company, every line of insurance.
I'll go right out there for lobster.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Could live like a king. You got a garden, you got the ocean, you live like a
Never
king.
have to leave. It's Kevin's Field of Dreams, right on the Pacific Ocean with 360-degree views of water and mountain about 80 miles north of Los Angeles, where in the late afternoon, the dolphins come to play. They come right up to the edge, like very close?
Oh, they'll come very, very close. Like I say, they'll put on a show for free sometimes.
Plenty of room to roam on the estate's 10.25 acres.
If you're here today at 3 o'clock, there'll probably be 60 people right here, right over there, and all ages playing soccer.
Kevin's asking price of $60 million. You also get horse trails leading down to your own private beach, an oceanfront 500 feet long. The house, though, is surprisingly tiny, built in 1942 with just 2 bedrooms and 2 baths.
Few filmmakers write 7-figure checks from their own checkbooks, yet Costner has done so repeatedly. Court records from his 2024 divorce reveal he increased a line of credit against his Santa Barbara property to bankroll Horizon. He told Fox Business he was all in for about $38 million. Those funds tie him personally to every delay, every reshoot, every legal invoice. Chapter 1's performance left an estimated $60 million gap before investors could see profit. Normally, the sequel would close that gap, but without a release date, the second film is not generating revenue, only holding costs. Bank statements reviewed by Variety suggest bridge loan interest alone is running well into 5 figures each week. Add potential damages, and the arithmetic becomes daunting even for a star of Costner's caliber. While large studios spread such risk across multiple pictures, Costner is effectively the studio. If insurers refuse coverage because of a proven safety breach, he shoulders not only damages, but any reshoot costs. That could mean selling more acreage or bringing in new investors at terms far less favorable than the originals. Yet friends say surrender is unlikely. Costner has weathered lawsuits before, from technology disputes to soundtrack profit quarrels, and emerged with stories intact. Still, each of those earlier battles relied on the protective shell of a corporate partner. This time, the shell is his own wallet. The arithmetic is stark. Finish the saga and hope audiences return, or watch personal fortune scatter like dust on the canyon floor.
What?
Chapter 2 is delayed. It's been pulled off the schedule. The rumor is that the movie is, they're still working on it. It's supposed to open in August, mere weeks away. And
do you want me to pull up the article or?
Yeah, pull up the article, but thank you, Alan, if you might share that.
Yeah. So this is from Hollywood Reporter, who got the exclusive. Let me shrink that up a bit. Kevin Costner's period western Horizon, American Saga Chapter 2, won't be riding to theaters on August 16th after all. The film is being pulled from the release calendar after Horizon Chapter 1 bit the dust in its theatrical debut late last month. After numerous discussions, Costner's Territory Pictures and distributor partner New Line made a decision to switch up the ambitious release plan in hopes of allowing more time to grow the audience for the first film, which sports a $100 million price tag.
Ask any film booking manager about Horizon, Chapter 2, and you will get a polite shrug. The sequel screened for critics months ago, earning respectable notices, yet the studio has not planted a new theatrical flag. One executive, speaking anonymously, put it this way: marketing a Western epic is challenging. Marketing one that might be cross-examined in court is near impossible. European distributors face similar doubts. Since 2023, several territories have adopted policies withholding advertising funds from productions under active harassment investigation. No one wants to hang billboards today that could become awkward reminders tomorrow. Meanwhile, time chips away at the ensemble. Cast options expire, horses are leased, not owned. Sound stages carry penalties if they sit dark past agreed dates. A delay stretching deep into 2026 could mean rebuilding sets, renegotiating contracts, and explaining to audiences why a story promised as a 4-part event now appears in limbo. Costner has quietly explored streaming possibilities, but platforms too weigh risk. An unresolved lawsuit invites headlines during an awards push neither streamer nor star may welcome. Unless the legal cloud lifts, Chapter 2 could wait on the shelf, earning nothing, while loan interest compounds. For now, the film exists in a peculiar limbo, complete yet unseen, financed yet not recouping a penny. Proof that in modern Hollywood, a single disputed day on set can stall an entire cinematic universe.
So the basic situation is this. This was not in the script. She did not show up to work that day thinking that was going to be something she was asked to do. It was just kind of sprang on her. Now, I can already hear what some people are thinking, and it's understandable. Well, then why did you agree to do it? No, I get that.
No, I know what you're saying.
That's a logical question to ask. It's well, why agree to do it? You are a low-level person on a movie set with these big stars, and you show up and they just suddenly pop this on you. And you don't have time to think about it. You don't have time to, let me go back, talk to my family about it, see if this is something I want to do. But no, it's like, okay, we need this now. Go to order, get ready and go. Like, and all of a sudden you're doing this scene. You don't have the contractually and union rule obligated things in place.
I don't even understand how there weren't people on set, like, overseeing that.
But Chris, as member of the union, as somebody who's been on sets and in productions where there are contractual rules
and has made complaints and gotten retaliation.
What's your impression of this story? What is standing out to you when you read about this?
I mean, right now, the big takeaway is, though, why did no one else intervene? Why did no one else say anything?
So where does this story go next? One possibility is the quiet corridor just outside a judge's chambers, where attorneys trade proposals until a confidential agreement settles everything before the first juror is seated. In that scenario, the public hears only a brief apology. The film resurfaces next spring, and Costner presses on, lighter in the wallet but still in the saddle. A second path winds toward open court. If neither side blinks, evidence rolls across a projector in front of 12 citizens who will decide whether protocol broke down or memories blurred under production pressure. Industry veterans still talk about the Michael Jackson civil trial and the Harvey Weinstein criminal proceedings. A Costner courtroom drama would join that short list of cases everyone in Hollywood follows hour by hour. A verdict for the plaintiff could redefine intimacy coordination standards all over again. There is also a more creative fork. Costner could choose to excise the disputed sequence entirely, reshoot with rigorous oversight, and present audiences with a revised cut. Reshoots are expensive, yes, but sometimes cheaper than protracted litigation. They might even allow Costner to position himself as a director who listened, learned, and corrected course. Whichever path emerges, the next marker on the calendar is a motion hearing 45 days from now. Until then, the $38 million bet remains on the table. The ranch loan gathers interest, and every frame of Horizon waits for its own uncertain verdict.